We are live now, Fish. We are live in Las Vegas and also in Myrtle Beach. Fish is in Vegas along with Hardline. John Hardison is with us. And I'm live at the Red Hare Brewery in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is near Myrtle Beach. And the main brewery here is in actually Marietta, Georgia. But they work out of Myrtle Beach area here, and they're having their 4th anniversary here today. So I'm actually going to enjoy that. I'm waiting for a brew to get so I can drink while we're eating here. But anyway, Hardline, I got to ask you this. Have you noticed, doesn't Fish look a little different? Doesn't he look like a grandfather now?
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
buddy,
you.
Congratulations on the air. How does it feel?
Thank you. Like I personally won the Super Bowl. That's the only way I could say it. It's I can't explain it. You know, it's the family. The family is. I mean, when the kid came out and they spanked him, and the first thing he said was "Daily." She said "Daily." I said, and then the next thing she said was, "What's Hardline's pick for the USFL this week?" I said, "Wow." No, thank you, guys. You know, you're my brothers. I appreciate it. It's great.
Needless to say, we were so happy for you. Great shots on Facebook. So, folks, if you want to go take a look at it, look at his Facebook page, Eric Snyder, and man, good stuff there. So, anyway, congratulations. We're excited for you. Okay, hey, NFL draft coming up. We got a big show coming up, so we're going to go over the draft. Hardison's going to have certainly a lot of picks. So, I was thinking maybe we would kind of tease a little bit. Maybe what's our first pick? What's your prediction for your first pick? And I guess the first question let me throw out at you is, before you give me your first pick, do you think the Jaguars are going to trade back to get somebody else to get the first pick, so maybe they get some other picks? Hardline, what do you think on that?
No, I think you keep the first pick. To lose the first pick, you're going to have to ask for overwhelming value, and I don't think that anyone's going to trade up to get that. If it was a quarterback in the very first overall pick where you think it was a generational talent, I think maybe you do that. But for this year, no. I think they're going to be pretty locked in at where they're going to go with the first overall pick.
What do you think, Fish?
I totally agree. Absolutely, 1,000% agree.
Okay, so Fish, go ahead. Give us what's your first pick. Who do you think the Jaguars are going to pick?
Jamarcus Russell, quarterback, 35 years old, out of LSU. He ran a 5.4 40. He's bringing some drink called the Slizzard, and he's ready. Man, I tell you, I hate to be cliche-ish, but I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan. They need defensive help. This guy fills all the boxes.
I'm going the same way too. Hardline. I think you are too. My big question is, would the Lions try to trade up to get him because they want to have a Michigan player at Detroit? Give us your take on that.
No. We had Jeff Backus for years, and nothing happened out of that. So, no, we're not trading up to just get Aiden Hutchinson. He's a good player. I think he's going to help Jacksonville. But, you know, the one thing that I always tell someone like Aiden Hutchinson, which is, you know, Myles Garrett, learned this the hard way. You can be the best player in the draft, and you're going to go to the worst team. So, you know, get used to losing, unfortunately, until you guys stockpile enough pieces and start getting better.
Okay, well, we're going to give all of our picks come Monday here on Daily Fish.
John, you're really staticky. You're staticky.
Am I really?
Yeah. You're staticky.
No
Do you hear it, Hardison? Yeah. Let's try and get
you
you
guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're staticky. Very staticky.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me jump in here. Just what do you think is the most intriguing team that's going to be in this draft? Hardison, go first.
Want me to go first, or Hardison?
I'll have Hardison go first.
You know what? I think it's going to be Kansas City, just to kind of see what they do with all those picks that they stockpiled with the Tyreek Hill trade. What are they going to address? What do they feel they need to address the most? Clearly, I think where they're going to go, especially is corner, with at least one or two of those picks, especially because they didn't re-sign Tyrann Mathieu. Even though the door is still open, I think that's what they're looking to see, is what value they can get out of those picks at that position.
Fish?
I have two teams. The New York Giants, your team, John, you was your favorite team when I first met you, have the 5th and the 7th pick, and there's a lot of chance they're going to trade one of those picks and get more draft capital. Keep an eye on the Seattle Seahawks. I mean, one guy in Las Vegas, and Hardison will tell you, who's getting a lot of up talk, is a guy named Malik Willis what's his name? Malik Willis, a quarterback.
Malik Willis.
And I think the Seahawks, who are trying to push everyone on Drew Lock and Geno Smith, are going to draft this guy. I'm not sold on the rebuild of the Seattle Seahawks. So I have Seattle and the Giants being the most intriguing teams for me. And I'm interested to see what his Lions do. I like Dan Campbell as a head coach, and they have a great attitude. That team really played hard for him. So I don't know if they're going to go quarterback. We'll find out more from Tuesday when we do our draft show. But there's a lot. There's 7 teams that have 2 picks in the first round.
Yeah. So what's going on with Deebo Samuel? Any idea who he's going to go to?
Hardline go. I do.
You know, a lot of people are saying, how about them Cowboys down there? But the biggest thing is, are they going to honor that trade request? That's the biggest thing. Or are they going to try to hold him until somebody has enough injuries where, you know, they sweeten the pot, maybe a couple first and a player? Keep your eye out. I know they've talked about a couple teams. The New York Jets being one of the teams that are very heavily want to go wide receiver. Also, they said possibly the New Orleans Saints is another team, although I think they have their eyes on one of the wide receivers out of Ohio State, more than they have their eye maybe on Deebo Samuels. But definitely keep your eye on that. But in Dallas as well, I just think that there's a big market for him, especially with all the gadgets and the end arounds that he was able to run last year. The biggest thing about Deebo Samuels, and my question is he asking for a trade because of contract, or is he asking for a trade because the amount of usage that they had him? And looking at long term, can that be sustainable?
Fish, go for it.
I agree with Hardline, but I have 2 other teams. Again, I'm going with teams that have multiple picks in their first round. The Kansas City Chiefs can give a 1 and a 3 and get Deebo Samuel. Forget it. That wide receiver room is just as good as it was when they had Tyreek Hill. Keep an eye on the New York Giants with one of those picks, because they're going to trade Kadarius Toney. Their first round pick of last year said, I'm not showing up. I don't want to play on this team anymore. So they're going to try and trade him. Be a nice fit with the Giants. John, you're really staticky, man. Something's going on.
All right. Well, it must be. I'm on the Wi-Fi here, but anyway, let's go quickly into the NBA playoffs. What are you guys looking at as far as the games today that you'll be looking at?
Definitely looking to see if the 76ers can put together something nice, if they can kind of close out the series a little bit faster, so that way they can get Thibault back instead of having to worry about the back and forth across the border due to the COVID restrictions. Also, we're looking at today's game. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. I believe Dallas plays today. Dallas plays today as well.
Celtics,
the Grizzlies, and Timberwolves, and here we go. I want to throw us all towards Hardline, John Daly, because he's our guru for the NBA. I think I don't care what Stephen A. Smith says. The Nets have to win this game. If they go down 3-0 to the Celtics, curtains. What do you think, John Hardline?
No, they definitely need this game. I talked about this last week. I think that the Celtics are playing the long game. I think they know that if they can get them to 7 games, they can win it out. But they've just been way more efficient, especially in their set than the Nets have been. The Nets have just been pretty much running a bunch of pick and rolls. And I know that it's easy that people are going to look at Kyrie Irving and try to blame him. But he's been having an excellent series this last 3 games. You can't blame him. It's just defensive strategy. And this comes back to whether it's right or wrong. If the Nets do lose this game or this series, it's going to go back to, should Steve Nash have gotten this job without as much prior experience as a lot of people have thought, due to his lack of being a bench coach. But I think this is a do-or-die game. I think the Nets need this. I think they have to win this game in Brooklyn. If they go down 3-0, you can kiss it goodbye. Yeah.
Any good prop bets for any of those games for today?
For this game, especially being at home, I would take Kevin Durant over 30 points. I think that he's going to have that much of an explosive game if they're going to be able to win. And I think he's got to just kind of lay it out on the floor in terms of not getting that win today.
Is there any team, Daily, Hardline, that's more snake bit than the Phoenix Suns? They're saying Devin Booker's injury is 2 weeks. It could be longer. Yeah. And Chris Paul got injured in the playoffs and then they got a 2-0 out of Miami on Milwaukee last year and ended up losing 4 straight. Can Booker if Booker's out for an extended period of time, Hardline, does that end Phoenix's run?
I think it does. I mean, he's such a prolific scorer. Yeah. They were able to win without Chris Paul, but I haven't seen them be able to win without Devin Booker in the long run. and I think they need his scoring. I mean, they're piecing it together. They're being very scrappy, but with as much talent as the Suns have, they shouldn't be struggling as much as they are against the New Orleans Pelicans. Not saying that Willie Green hasn't done a very good job, but I think that they can do a much better job than what they am in terms of snake bitten. I got to say the Bucks. I mean, they are just they are trying. And at the beginning of the season, Giannis had his injuries. Then we're talking about Chris Middleton's gone now again because of MCL sprain. They said at best it'd be the middle of next series that he could come back. They've made trades. I just think that those two teams, the two teams that were in the finals last year, are the most snake bitten. And keep your eye out for this. If Utah falters the way that we do, there is a possibility that they might blow that team up. I mean, this is about the fourth year. They might blow this team up. They might look to see what assets they can get. And for a guy like Donovan Mitchell, that's going to be a really crucial question: is what does he do moving forward?
Yeah. A lot of people are talking to rebuild out there. That's for sure. Go ahead.
Can I say, John? Can I jump in before you move on with the show with the segment? Two things about the draft. I don't know if you heard about this. Derek Stingley, the defensive back from LSU, has moved up everybody's draft board, from McShay to Kuiper to Bucky Brooks into the top 10. I don't know where he's going to go, but he's a great kid. And number two, Gabriel Ruelas, marketing director for one of the marketing guys for the Raiders. I said I'd do a shout out on this one. You're too young, hardline, but rest in peace, the Mad Bomber, Daryl LaMonica. Tom Flores said the other day, hardline, who was a great coach of the Raiders, he goes, the phrase "the greatness of the Raiders" started with Daryl LaMonica. He was phenomenal hardline, and John and I saw him play late 60s and 70s when he was AFL Player of the Year. Passed away the other day at the age of 80, and he joins Stabler and he joins Al Davis. I mean, the three of them right now are probably trying to plot how the Raiders get into the first two rounds of the draft. But that I see Stingley going back to football. I see Stingley moving up to the top 10. I agree with everybody. And rest in peace, the Mad Bomber, Daryl LaMonica.
Yeah, I hear you right there. Hey, one other one I am beginning to see or hear is moving up is Jameson Williams from Alabama. They're thinking, even though that injury that he had in the national championship game, they think he's ready. And I'm seeing a number of draft picks. They got him in the first round. What do you think of that, Hardison?
You know what? It's not a bad pick. I think if you take him, you're going in with the idea that you're going to rehab him. You're not going to guarantee that he's going to play this season, but you're going to wait and see kind of through training camp, maybe minis, where he's at. And you know that he's your long-term guy, but he may not come in the first year. And look, there's been a lot of people that have had bad injuries in college that have been able to turn them around. One of them is, Wells McGahee. He had a phenomenal career, especially after that horrific injury at Miami.
Yep. Absolutely. All right, let's do a little business here. Love having you with us, folks. Daily Fish is live on Facebook at daily.fish.5, and that's on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. You can watch us also on Facebook on the Myrtle Beach Golf Channel and Myrtle Beach Grand Strand Life. You can check us out on Daily Fish on YouTube and also Wingding TV. You can listen to us. This way you don't have to look at us. You can do that on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Stitcher, and Amazon as well. And we're all going to be here. The Hardline's going to be here, as you know. He has the Cost of Winning podcast, and you can follow him, but he's with us every week as well. And Fish, we got some fun stuff coming up on the show on Monday. I mean, we got some visual stuff that you found that is really cool.
Wow. Wait to see if I can get it on there. I got some rights. Wait to see how the Raiders train. One thing good about Las Vegas, everyone says why the Raiders come to this town, why they build a stadium. They project, hardline, not only 500,000 people, but daily between gaming and non-gaming revenue for a week, $500 million coming into Las Vegas. And I could only imagine what the Super Bowl is going to do. Can I segue into something that's really bothersome to me? I want both of your opinions on this. Major League Baseball said, and that's a sport very dear to our hearts, and you, Daily. Major League Baseball is seriously considering, check this out this morning, I heard the powers that be, Rob Manfred, about moving the Oakland A's. It's never been done during the season. They're averaging 3,100 fans a game. And Libby Schaaf, the mayor, has screwed that situation. They can move to Sacramento and play in a 15,000-seat stadium. I ask you both a question. One, do you think it would happen? And two, should it happen?
I'll go first really quick. I think it could happen, and I think one reason why is because the poor fans there in Oakland. I mean, they don't know what's going on. Is the team going to leave? Is it going to stay? So they cannot be a part of that team, and they're just hanging around there. I think it would probably, and it would probably jumpstart a lot of things. So I think it's a possibility. Will they do it? Not certain yet. Hardline, what do you think?
I think, is it going to happen? Probably. Will they do it? More than likely, I think that it's going to happen. And I'll take a minute. I just feel so bad for the city of Oakland. In the last 5-10 years, they've lost every sports team. The Raiders relocated to Vegas. The A's are gonna go. They moved the Warriors, who have been there for God knows how long, since Rick Barry, across back to the bridge of San Francisco. I just feel bad for him. And at this point, I think if you're a fan of Oakland sports and you're a person that's do or die Oakland person, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Don't even get me through the season. Don't even try to think this.
Absolutely.
Just go ahead, pull them, move them where you got to move them to, and good riddance. Let them go.
Pull the Band-Aid off fast. It's going to hurt quickly, and then you get it out of the way and heal. I agree. What do you think, Fish?
I agree. I totally agree. You know how I feel about the city of Oakland. I've gone to many A's and Raider games, and you said the fans of Oakland don't know what's going on. Well, the Raiders announced they were moving to Vegas, and they sold out every game afterwards. This is handled so badly by the mayor. And let's get one thing straight, Raider fans, because we're going to be a Raider podcast eventually. Mark Davis did whatever he could and then some to try and keep that team in the Bay Area.
Absolutely.
That's got to be noted right now. All right. And then when he figured out he couldn't work with the powers that be there, thank God he came to the city that Hardline and I are in. Now, Hardline right now, Bailey, is with a guy, Colin Kaepernick. How is this guy not in the NFL? How is this guy not a backup? How is this guy not starting for the Seattle Seahawks? All right. I want him as a backup.
Absolutely.
The only rhetoric I have from him that he said that bothered me, Hardline, what your opinion? He said, get me on any NFL team and I'll move into a starter. Well, no. You're not going to start for Aaron Rodgers. You're not going to start for Tom Brady. There's certain teams. But there are teams, and there's 5 teams that I can think of right now that he could start, even though he's been out of the league for 5 years. I know I'm jibber-jabbering right here. How about this one? Terrell Owens is 48 years old. He ran a 4.340 the other day in that simulated league. I'm shocked. The guy has a body. You know what, Daly's like you. The Benjamin Button going in reverse. He looks terrific. How are these guys not in the fucking league? Sorry.
I agree. Hardline, go for it.
Ask him. You might see him today.
You know what? It's very much just kind of similar to Baker Mayfield. It's about the guys that like you and the guys that want you in, and it's a political game.
Wait. I've never did. Wait a minute. I've never disagreed with you. Baker Mayfield's an asshole. Everyone says it. He goes on podcasts and throws people under the bus. Kaepernick, come on, man. The guy got blackballed. All right.
I mean, he did, but I mean, look.
He got blackballed. And say what it is. Look, Kaepernick's not going to go out there and kneel anymore and do that crap, right? He wants to play, and he can play. And the NFL's all about winning. Look, Nick Mullins is the backup quarterback for the Raiders. I like the guy. Cap's better.
I mean, you gotta know, Fish. It's a business, and look, you can be the shittiest person, but if the ownership likes you, they like you. You know what I mean? And they'll keep you in the league. And there's been a bunch of players that you, I, and Daly have watched over the years that we ask ourselves all the time: how does that guy keep getting a contract? How does that guy keep getting a job? It makes no sense. Well, ownership likes you, and if ownership likes you, they'll keep a roster spot out for you, whether it's right or wrong. Look, and you're right. Kaepernick got blackballed. There are a bunch of different political situations going on, especially during the time with everything going on. And, certain powers that be thought maybe that messed with the money, whether it's right or wrong. Do I think that he deserves a shot? Absolutely. Do I think he'll be a backup where he can start at certain spots? Yes, I do. But, Father Time has passed by in certain situations too. So we'll see how it goes. But if he goes in there and he lights it up, that's all that matters.
I think, yeah. He can light it up. And what you say is apropos, Daly. I want your opinion on this too. The league has its favorites, okay? Aaron Rodgers can do no wrong. He can be unvaccinated and break all kind of protocol. And then I forgot who it was. Nothing. There's no fines on Rodgers. Well, who was the guy? Hold on, got a $14,038 fine. $14,038 for a uniform violation. I mean, there's certain players that the NFL loves no matter what. And there's certain. You're right. It's a business, but it's also the old boys league. And Mark Davis is trying to get out of that. Mark Davis is trying to be the guy that's trying to break that. With his look like his dad, the Maverick type. He's like his dad. But can we beat that old boys club, All of a sudden, guys, you want shock value? All this stuff with all these girls against Jerry Jones, all that went away. They were settled. How much money did he give? You know, I mean, Daniel Snyder.
Didn't give me enough.
There were emails from John Gruden back and forth with Daniel Snyder. Why is it sealed up? Okay, it's like the January 6th documents. Why is these things sealed up? The NFL is its own oligarchy. So, but again, I'm passionate about this, guys. You can tell.
Well, Fish, I can tell you about.
Colin Kaepernick needs to play in the NFL. He's 34 years old. He can still play. All right. Yeah. There's shitty backups in this league. Blaine Gabbert can't win a Super Bowl. If Brady goes down daily, Blaine Gabbert cannot take him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Kaepernick might.
Yeah. And I still think he's suited for the offenses of today. You know, granted, he's not a great passer, but he's mobile and he can do a lot of different things that I think could help a lot of teams. I agree with you 100%.
Look, Kansas City. Andy Reid just signed this guy. Took a big flyer on Michael Vick. You kill dogs, and that's you know. And it was a great move because Vic redeemed himself, had a great career afterwards, and give credit to Andy Reid. This is perfect. You don't think that Colin Kaepernick, this is for Hardline. You don't think Colin Kaepernick, God forbid something happens to Mahomes, well, he's in our division, but if something happens to Mahomes, I can see Colin Kaepernick going there and running that Chiefs offense. Can you, Hardline? I can.
I can.
Easily. Yeah. Cool. All righty. Good stuff, guys. I think we should probably wrap it up here, and looking forward to Monday night.
I want to still talk. You can leave. Go drink your beer.
Okay. See you later. Bye. I'm going to drink beer.
Kidding.
This is what happens when you become a grandpa, you know?
Yeah, you get passionate, but no, you get me going. I'm a grandpa. I'm your brother, but your brothers. But no, I get passionate about certain things, and I think we have the avenue to talk about it. You know. By the way, did any of you guys see the Pat McAfee podcast and an NFL player talked about pissing in his pants on the field? Did you guys hear about that? It was the funniest thing on the planet. I mean, McAfee lost it, and he goes, "It's true. Some guys pee on the field. That you know." McAfee would say, how come it's minus 30 degrees and guys are sweating? They're pissing themselves.
Yeah. No, I mean, the old Packers used to talk. In fact, Jerry Kramer, I think, mentioned it to me many years ago that, you know, if you're out there and you're drinking a lot of water and it's cold and you're sweating, who cares? And not only that, the guy that you're hitting doesn't want to go near you. And if you're a running back, who wants to tackle you if you got that? But you got to. So, yeah.
Remember Tony Siragusa? Tony Siragusa claims to have taken dumps in his pants. And Rich Gannon of the Raiders said the guy would eat cloves of garlic and onions. And he'd breathe on you. And he's a big, fat, smelly guy. Imagine taking a dump and then playing in a game and you sit on a guy's face. You're not going to want to you're going to run from this guy. You're going to do something. You're going to go down like Jim Everett did that phantom sack in '89 against Ronnie Lott. Stay away from the goose.
Yeah. Well, if you think.
Oh, we lost him. Good.
I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyways, we're still live. There's a good chance, buddy, that when Jesse Hearns comes to town, we just had him on the show, and we're still live right now, that we're going to have a nice little, soiree, like I said in the show, with Mark Davis, who I've always wanted to meet. I met his dad. I never met him. I'll say this to you, like I said to you, behind the scenes. If we meet Mark Davis, don't let me talk.
No, it'd be such an honor just to meet, so many Raider greats and the great Mark Davis and, Jesse and his barbecue and all his flavors and rubs and get some of that in us, Memphis style barbecue, Detroit style barbecue to have. So it definitely would be, just so great and a great opportunity for all of us.
Should be a good opportunity for all of us. And we're you look at my background, you have a passion for the Raiders now because you live here and you've seen what this team and this stadium has done for this community. I cannot believe what the streets look like right now. We're packed. Local casinos, everyone out there. Tarlin will tell you. Local casinos, if you're watching live in Vegas, and we have a big fan base here, the Aliante, Red Rock, Santa Fe. That's not casinos that are normal names to people that are watching that think of Vegas as the Bellagio, Mirage. These places are packed with people coming in for the draft. There are certain hotels telling people you can make a four day wait for reservations for restaurants. It's a zoo.
Just mark my words. I really believe that this is going to be, Vegas, especially with everything that it does, is going to be home to the draft a few more times in the next probably 10 years, next couple years. My heart dear to me is they're going to go in Detroit. So my goal is to go back to Detroit as well, see it here and there. But the biggest thing is I think that we're going to be on the Super Bowl rotation. I think we're going to be on the draft rotation. As someone said, name a airport that does as much business in a day as Las Vegas does, being able to get people in and out and to the casinos where they're at. There's very few and far between places that can tout that.
If the draft next year is in Detroit, I want to go with you. And if Daily Fish is as successful as I think it was, we go. Because something tells me that John Hardison knows some restaurants in Detroit or around Detroit that are as good as, I'm serious now, they're as good as any restaurant, the James Beard restaurant you're going to find on the Strip or in Las Vegas or any big city. And, you know, I've heard great things about Detroit. I have friends that live in Auburn Hills. Was it Rochester Hills, New York?
Rochester.
Yep. Yeah, and I met you a lot of great people from that's a great city, great sports town. Great. You talk about loyalty. We talk about the A's and the way the Raider fans are loyal for all those bad seasons. I mean, look at the Pistons and the Red Wings drawing. The Tigers, they stink. The Lions averaged 45 to 50,000 fans a game last year, and they were horrible. But yeah. What is we talked about this. Michigan, Ann Arbor, and I don't know this geography wise. How far is Ann Arbor from Detroit, miles wise?
It's driving time. It's about 40 minutes from Detroit. It's not too far up. You take 94 going west, and from Detroit, it will take you right over to Ann Arbor. It's not too far away from it.
Okay, so do they get a lot? Now the big house has 100,000 people. That's not all students. They must get a great fan base from Detroit. That because they're starved for great. Look, they had a great team last year. Is that true? They get a lot of people. My question to you is: they get a lot of people from Detroit that travel that 40 minutes to go to Michigan Wolverine football games.
All the time. It is, college football in Michigan is huge, especially Michigan State. When you consider Michigan as 100,000 people sell out a game, and they sold out games for decades, you're talking about a city. You're talking about a city inside of a stadium for a game. You get people from all around, west side of Michigan, Detroit, Metro Detroit, all the way far up north that have season tickets, the alumni. People come back for this. I mean, people sell out their front yards as parking areas so that people could go ahead and park there because the parking isn't that great around Michigan Stadium. I mean, it is like a cult. It is one of the biggest cults. Like people talk about Alabama and they talk about the Orange Bowl in Miami. Come see the big house. Will you feel that rumbling? Will you hear that noise, that deafening noise? It's like a Super Bowl every game, 100,000 people in one area, yelling, screaming, cheering on their fans.
That's great. In a previous hook that we did, you and I did, you talked about what a legend Tom Izzo is. So you grew up in Detroit, and you're a young man, you're in your 30s, but talk about your family and what the city of Detroit meant sports-wise, in the question being, what's the most popular sport in Detroit? Because I talk to people from Detroit, and they say, when the Red Wings are great with Stevie Heiserman, it's the Red Wings. And then when the Tigers had that great run in mid-'80s and '84 with Gibson, it's the Tigers. In your opinion, between your age and people that are older, maybe your dad, what's the most popular sport in Detroit?
It goes Red Wings just because of the longevity they've had, so many championship banners that they've put on. I mean, you could go anywhere. You can name, hockey players all over. I mean, I'll tell you the significance of the Detroit Red Wings when Tupac Shakur was wearing a Red Wings jersey back in the 90s. That's the picture where he's spitting at the camera guy. He's got a Red Wing jersey on. Even in a big African American community that's had so much success with the Pistons, remember that? The Bad Boys? Yep. The Red Wings are still number one in that city. That's huge. That's great. It's their consistency. Now they're in down years right now, but if you consider when I was a kid, even being a teenager, 08, we've got a championship. 02, we've got a championship. 95, 96, you're winning, 60 plus games. It's consistent. Second would be the Pistons, just because of the Bad Boys, everything that they have, the championship banners, grind. Third would be the Lions, and then fourth probably would be the Tigers. I mean, even though the Tigers in '83, it's something special about the Lions. I mean, we have the Thanksgiving Day game every year, and it sells out. I mean, it's no matter how bad the Lions are, and they've been bad. I mean, they've been historically bad. It's just something about being a Lions fan that you have some pride in. It's just one of those teams. It's like being a Browns fan. You can't fake it. Either you are or you aren't, and there's no way of getting around, it. I could tell you there's been a lot of hope and there's been a lot of dreams that have been crushed and there's been a lot of great things. But being a guy from Detroit to say that I've seen Hall of Famers like Barry Sanders, I've seen Calvin Johnson, soon to be Matt Stafford, Herman Moore. You have things that you can just remember. And the best part about being a Lions fan is at any given time, you could just run into one of the guys that were on the team, maybe a Hall of Famer, and they're just really down to earth, really, really nice guys for the most part. I've met Calvin Johnson, super nice guy. I've met Barry Sanders in the Target, and he was just, walking around and people kind of looking. And I always remember he was just kind of like, he looked over and he said, "Hey, do you want a picture?" And people are like, "Oh, no." He's like, no, come on. Let's take a picture. Took it. People left him alone. And he was like, that's all. He's like, I stayed, even though I retired early. I love the city of Detroit. I love what it represents. I believe he still has his house in Metro Detroit as well. And I believe even after all the years that he's been gone, he's still I believe a special advisor or working towards the front office with the Lions. And that's something that in Detroit sports, if you love our city, you represent our city, we'll take care of you and we'll always cherish you.
I've never been to your city, but I've been married now 33 years. But it seems like every girl I dated, I didn't get married till I was 30, whatever, 29. Every girl I dated was from Detroit area. Gorgeous women, gorgeous people. I dated a girl in 1985, and all she would wear was a Mel Farr jersey. Mel Farr was number 20. That's all I know. Great defensive back, way before your time, Hardison. And she would tell me, she would say, there was a big quarterback controversy between Bill Munson and Greg Landry. I mean, it's great when you could date a girl that knows everything about Detroit sports, and I'm a junkie for sports anyways. Let's see what this guy's doing.
Hey guys, I lost power.
Hey, you know what? We're almost. Yeah, right.
And you're still talking,
John. That was a 12-minute dump. I've been around you, buddy.
When you gotta go, you gotta go. You
really. You can't fool us, buddy. I'm telling you. Look how happy he is.
I feel better now. I feel better.
Yeah.
Oh
What'd you lose, 4 pounds? Jesus.
Yes.
We just did a history of Detroit sports, talked about everything, but we need you to take us out.
Well, I think number 20 was Lem Barney, wasn't it?
Lem Barney. Mel Farr was Lem Barney. Yeah.
I think Mel Farr was number 24.
Something
24.
like that.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking
and he
at
was
30,
a great running back.
I was looking at her 36 double D's, not 24 20.
So I got to tell you, one of my great moments of being in Detroit is I played in the Ford Celebrity Golf event, and I got to sit with Al Kaline. And it was right at the end. And one of the things I regretted most about that tournament was that night he was broadcasting the Tigers game, and it was going to be the last year of the old Tiger Stadium. And he said, "I'll leave a ticket for you. Come on over." And I was brought in by the tournament to be at their event that night. And I was like, well, let me see if I can try to. So I had an obligation to them. I didn't get a chance to go, and I always regretted it. Al Kaline was one of the nicest guys. So it was one of my great memories of Detroit. So, yeah, I have great feelings for Detroit, even though I'm a Red Sox fan. There you have it. All right, guys.
Jerry,
well,
hang on, John. Jerry, okay. I can't pronounce the guy's name. Jerry Islowitz.
Okay.
Boise, Idaho said Colin Kaepernick. I'm a big Seahawks fan. Colin Kaepernick could start right now, and they can cut everybody else.
Interesting. Wow.
So,
interesting.
Sorry. I give you a comment. I got a comment on it. I'm looking at him, and
cool.
Yeah, Jerry.
All right.
Oh.
So, guys, anyway, I apologize for the power outage there. And by the way, I feel so much better now. Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah. I used a roll of toilet paper. So.
Oh. I'm surprised the restaurant's still open. Why do you think he's standing, Hardison?
It's there. It's there. Absolutely.
I love this guy. He's the best looking guy who can get away with taking a 12-minute dump. And we can talk about it. They're thinking word jokes about it, but he can pull that off. Oh, the power's out.
Hey, it worked for me. So anyway, so we got a big show coming up Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Again, if you're on Facebook, daily.fish.5, you can also get us on YouTube. We are on all the audio ones, Spotify included in there. So check us out. And again, we've got some business. We're going to do an awful lot on the NFL draft, and you guys are going to talk about what's going on in Vegas there. So we're looking forward to it. We got some funny stuff on sports and entertainment that nobody else has. So there you have it. So it's Daily Fish. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in here on The Hook. And guys, can't wait to see you on Monday night.
breaking news. Breaking news, guys. The Detroit Lions just made a trade with Tampa Bay to move into the second round. And rumor has it they're going to take Ryan Leaf, 38 years old. 5'6", 40.
You had me there. You had me there. Jesus.
Man, it's going to be great.
I was gonna be like, that's such a Detroit thing to do. Damn Lions.
All right. But while you guys are on the road, you're in your car and you're at that great place down in, how do you say it, Chalut?
Yeah, in Charlotte, we're at Red Hair, the Red Hair Brewery down here, and their 4th anniversary. So if you're in the area, come on down and enjoy it. A lot of music today.
Good. Enjoy. I'm trying to make fun of you. I'm going to use my own facilities right now, guys. So I'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. See ya.